Hi, I'm Ayoade, and I'm a fellow here at the DeYoung Museum. What does home mean? Where you call home might depend on where you grew up or where your family's from. What does it feel like to be at home? For all of us, there are historical contexts that affect our answers to these questions, from our family histories to the histories of the land we live on. For many Black families and communities across the diaspora, the idea of home is built on top of historical and ongoing injustices that often affect a sense of safety and belonging in a place. African Americans, who are descendants of enslaved people, may reckon with the forced separation of ancestors from homelands and often are unable to trace their full ancestry, consequences of enslavement, intentional family separation, and forced removal from ancestral homes. In this painting, we see a boat densely packed with people with a watchful eye in the background. Rough strokes of blue and white with streaks of yellow and red flow across the canvas, evoking the movement of water. The painting recalls images of the inhumane conditions of slave ships traversing the Middle Passage from the 16th to the 19th centuries. With this as important context, the artist also depicts another connected time in history through this painting. This piece is called They Going to Send Us Home, painted in the late 1970s by Miami artist Purvis Young. In this piece, Young shows the journeys of Cuban and Haitian immigrants seeking asylum in the United States in the 1970s. The they in the painting's title refers to the United States, which at this time enacted racially motivated policies barring Black Haitian refugees from entering the country, but admitting many Cuban refugees. Young's painting reminds us of the trauma that water can carry for people who were forced to cross it. Prior to Haiti and Cuba, the ancestors of many of those on the boat called another place home. This painting also reminds us of the ways that the ocean is a connector of Black experiences across the diaspora spread around the Atlantic and beyond. They Going to Send Us Home asks us to think about how history continues to impact where you and I are able to call home on an individual and community level. Where Young's painting invites reflection on how home is made by those who arrive in the US and how we make meaning of home, Mickalene Thomas invites us inside to consider the meanings of home within. This collage by Mickalene Thomas, called Interior, Fireplace with Blackbird, takes us into a home made of clippings from a series of interior design books from the 1970s. In discussing how her style as an artist has developed, Thomas speaks of her use of materials like craft supplies and magazine clippings as being born of necessity, since as a young art student, she could not afford more expensive materials. Taking a difficulty and turning it into something new speaks more broadly to one way to think about the vitality of Black culture in the US. As a student of urban planning and an advocate for equitable approaches to creating and accessing built environments, my sister Aisha thinks a lot about the connections between culture, history, and physical space. Here's what she had to say about the piece.
When I look at this collage, I see living room elements creating a dynamic space that takes on a unique identity. Just like the collage medium, the living room is a remix of disparate elements all woven together to create new meaning. The act of remixing speaks to an experience of being Black in America, the struggle to maintain a distinct identity in a place where you are marginalized. In Thomas's piece, I see the texture and the richness that results from such a process. In some ways, I can personally relate to the remixing scene in this collage. For my siblings and I, growing up in America as the children of Nigerian immigrants meant that we experienced Nigerian meals, language, and ways of thought while living in an American context. I never felt traditionally American, but I never felt fully Nigerian either. Over time, I've learned to embrace this process and this identity as a unique experience for my family that connects us to others.
Does this make you think of aspects of your own experiences? Maybe your family is from more than one culture. Maybe you or your parents immigrated to this country or have faced hardship making a home here. What is home to you? And what makes it feel like home?